Welcome, lovers of the weird and strange. This is Lance, your host of Legends of the Hidden Horde, where we explore the cryptids that stalk the dark corners of our globe. A huge thank you to everyone who's listening. Your ears make these strange journeys possible. If you're enjoying the show, please hit that subscribe button, leave a quick review, and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or X. Every subscription, every star rating, and every follow helps us reach more curious minds and keep the stories coming. Your support truly makes a difference. Now let's get on with the next story. Grab your go bag and get some sage burning. This is episode 12, the Boo Hag. In the dark folds of the South Carolina Lowcountry, where the salt marshes breathe with the tide and live oaks drip Spanish moss like funeral veils, the Gullah elders still whisper of the Boo Hag. She is no mere ghost or cryptid to be hunted with flashlights and trail cams. She is the raw nerve of the night itself, a skinless horror born from bad deaths, those untimely passings unmoored by grief, violence, or unresolved sin. She slips from the swamps on humid evenings when the Haint blue paint on porch ceilings begin to flake. Her true form, a glistening mass of red muscle and throbbing blue veins, eyes like hot coals reflecting the moon. By day, she steals the skin of the living, wearing it like a stolen coat to walk among us, smiling with borrowed lips while her hidden husk waits in a hollow tree or attic crawlspace. At night, she sheds it, seeps through keyholes and window cracks like smoke, and perches on your chest. She rides you until dawn, sucking the breath from your lungs, the strength from your bones, leaving you to wake gasping, hollowed, as if a piece of your soul had been chewed away and spat into the marsh. Consider the young Michael, a Gullah descendant who had left the Sea Islands for the bright lights of Charleston, chasing college and skepticism. He returned one stormy autumn to settle his grandmother's ramshackle cabin on St. Helena Island, the air thick with pluff mud and regret. The old woman had died suddenly, some said from exhaustion, others from a writing that no doctor could name. Michael laughed off the warnings. He scraped the peeling Haint blue from the ceiling beams, calling it superstition for tourists. He swept the straw broom into the corner instead of propping it by his bed. That first night, the wind howled like a grieving widow, and sleep came heavy. But midway through the dark, he felt it. A weight on his ribs, not crushing but intimate, as if an old lover had returned uninvited. Paralysis pinned him. He could not scream, could not twitch a finger. A presence hovered, raw, sinewy, smelling of wet earth and copper. His breath was hot and wet against his ear, whispering in a voice like dried reeds. "Don't you fight now, Chili. Just let me ride." When dawn finally cracked the horizon, Michael woke drenched in sweat, throat raw, limbs leaden. He told himself it was jet lag, stress, the old house settling. But the edges began to unravel him. On the third night, the riding returned. This time, he glimpsed it in the half-light before full paralysis. Not just any hag, but one wearing his grandmother's face. Her familiar smile stretched grotesquely over red flesh, the stolen skin sagging at the neck like ill-fitting gloves. Was this the traveling spirit Elder spoke of, born from her own bad death, now feeding on bloodkin to stay anchored? Or was it something darker, an edge where the Boo Hag wasn't a lone monster, but a contagion, passed like a curse when the victim died mid-ride, their spirit mutating into the next hag? He remembered the tales from distant Caribbean cousins of the Sequoiant, the fireball-skinned hag who counted rice grains scattered on the floor until sunrise. In desperation, he tried that too, flinging handfuls of rice across the threshold. It bought him minutes, perhaps, but the thing only laughed, a sound like bones cracking, and slipped through anyway. By the fifth night, the folklore's variations twisted into nightmare. Some say the hag can be paid in blood or conjured to target strangers, a hired tormentor from hoodoo gone wrong. Michael found his neighbor, Old Miss Lottie, always tired, always smiling with too perfect skin, watching him from her porch at dusk. Was she the daytime vessel, her real husk hidden nearby? Or was this the ultimate edge case, a hag that no longer needed to ride violently, but drained slowly over years, mimicking the quiet exhaustion of poverty, racism, or modern burnout, turning entire communities into unwitting herds? He confronted her at twilight, voice trembling. Miss Lottie only tilted her head, eyes flashing cat-like for a split second, and said, "Some hags don't kill, boy. They just keep you alive, enough to keep riding." Michael survived by the skin of his teeth, literally. He repainted the ceilings that deep indigo blue the Gullah called Haint blue, the color of the sky and sea that confuses the spirit into thinking it's already fled. He left the broom upright by the bed and scattered rice mixed with salt, but the real terror lingered. The hag had left a mark, a faint bruise shaped like a handprint on his chest that never fully faded. Some nights, even now, he wakes with that familiar pressure, not from an intruder, but from the memory, or worse, from the inner hag we all carry, the doubt, the grief, the exhaustion that rides us when we ignore the old ways. And yet, in that darkness lies the truth that the Boo Hag embodies. She is not merely a monster of the marshes, but a mirror into the human condition itself, the invisible forces that drain us while we sleep through life, whether they be generational trauma, societal pressures, or our own unexamined fears. The lessons she teaches are ancient, yet urgently modern. Vigilance is not paranoia, but sacred self-preservation. Community rituals, the paint, the broom, the shared stories, bind us against isolation's perils, and the true power lies not in brute force, but in cunning, tradition, and the refusal to surrender our breath. In a world racing toward hyperconnectivity and artificial intelligence that ride our attention spans, harvesting data and vitality without consent, the Boo Hag warns of future implications far beyond the Lowcountry. As a changing climate begins to swallow the sea islands, and cultural erasure threatens Gullah memory, her legend may evolve or vanish, leaving us defenseless against new nocturnal thieves, algorithmic exhaustion, ecological grief, or spirits of our own making. To heed the Boo Hag's warning is to remember that the veil between the living and the draining unknown is thin, and only by honoring the old protections can we ensure humanity does not wake one dawn utterly hollowed, ridden to the bone. Thank you so much for listening. I really do appreciate it. If you like the story, hit that subscribe button. Give me a follow on Facebook, Instagram, or X. And until next time, keep your eyes open. You never know what might be lurking in the shadows.